I lived in a town good.
Again, you know, what we're doing here is we're trying to get these gentle people from the Muslim community to understand about the Tea Party, okay? We're also trying to get at least our Tea Party group to understand where you're coming from.
I hope that we're respectful.
You know?
I think we're being
So,
respectful.
like I said, when
We're not attacking anyway.
okay, so when we extended the invitation, okay, and I want to reiterate this, okay, to try to have some sort of control over this so people did not let emotions get heated up, right? We wanted to have things written down, and then each of those questions were going to be answered, okay?
So the question, did you leave your country because women are considered a second-class citizen? As I mentioned, I graduated from electrical engineering. 1/3 of my class were women.
Can't hear.
Listen up.
I have people in the audience here that are doctors and they are lawyers, and in all their undergraduates, they were women learning as well as men. In Muslim countries, actually, you find 2 or 3 countries where they had presidents, women. Women have had a very special place in Islam throughout the history. Women are not treated as a second citizen. They are actually treated with all due respect and care, so everybody is surrounding them to make sure they are respected and well taken care of. And absolutely, by no stretch of the imagination, I left my country because women were treated as second citizens.
Can you expound on that for a second?
Yeah.
Just, by the way, I mean, what you folks are telling us is great. I mean, I think this is a good format. I think this is a good thing. There's been plenty of times when I've been in the store and I wanted to, I see a woman in a burqa and I want to ask them questions because as I'm a free thinker and I want to know if I'm drinking Kool-Aid or not. So,
Yeah.
and what you said about women there, that seems to be contrary. Like in light of that, then explain things like how the education of women, how women are stoned if they're in an adulterous affair, and things like that. That all, you guys seem to be kind of a moderate faction. And another question I have is, what percentage of total Muslims do you represent? Are you like 5% or?
90%, 99% of the Muslims that are just like me. And unfortunately, what you see is less than 1% because you probably, if you see us on the street, you wouldn't recognize that we are Muslim. But let me answer. Janelle is going to take your first question, first part.
Quiet.
Let her answer.
One conversation at a time, please.
Okay, let me just, does anybody know how many Muslims there are in the world?
1.6 million.
Okay, 1.3. Do you know, are all of them Arabs? No.
No.
So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that there's an incredible amount of diversity. You find them in every country, you find them in Asia, you find them in Africa, you find them in this country. As a matter of fact, most Muslims in this country are African Americans. They're the largest Muslim group.
Not immigrants.
Exactly. And there are only, now, as for women, my mother was a European Muslim. She came from Bosnia. My father came from Egypt, okay? So you can't make a statement and say Muslim women. Is there such a thing as Christian women, or are there Christian women in different countries who have different conditions? Same thing. There are only 2 Muslim countries in the world where you have Sharia: Iran and Saudi Arabia. And so in Iran and Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan has had a civil war, it's under occupation, and it does not actually, it has no law actually. They have no law at this point because of the war. But it's only in Saudi Arabia and in Iran where women... Can I continue? You say you want to build bridges, but you constantly attack me.
But
This doesn't feel like a bridge. Do you want me to answer the question or not?
Yes, we would like you to answer the question.
Okay? So there are countries, so things are different. When people tell you in the media Muslim women are all oppressed, they're usually giving you one big big generalization. It's the same thing as when I listen to the news and I say all Tea Partiers are racist. Is that true?
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. It's a stereotype. You're painted with a broad brush. Do I believe it? I don't believe
I don't
it.
think anybody sees painting the Muslim community in broad brush. But I think
You are
keep
saying that
missing-
all women, that I'm trying to tell you that women in the Muslim world live in different countries in different conditions. There are only 2 Muslim countries where you actually have the Sharia law. Iran and Saudi Arabia. Stoning, which is one of the few things that we seem to know about Muslim women, is really, really, really strict conditions around it. I don't know the last time I've heard, there's a case now going on in Iran, but I don't know if you know the conditions. In order to actually implement that law, you've got to have 4 witnesses who actually witness the adultery. Now, I don't know when the last time you had 4 people witness an adultery in your life, but those are what happens.
They have to be
And those are,
males, right?
right?
They have to be
There
4
have to be
males.
4 males, but that's only in 2 countries. In all other countries, you've got secular law. And so that does not even apply.
I agree with you, there's a few countries that have that strict Sharia law dominating it. But I know I lived in England for a while, and in England, the newspapers carry a lot of stories about Pakistan and some of the other countries where there was English dominance. And in Pakistan, a woman was still, this is not that long ago, raped in public as a punishment for a crime that their brother or their friend did. I will tell you something. I am glad to hear you people speak, because I know that your religion cannot be seen in the media, and the
Thank
media
you.
is a
Thank
distortion.
you.
However, I still, and I'm almost pleading to all of you to go back to your communities and let us, other people who want to see you differently, you must make a greater stand to make it look like the tolerant, moderate Muslim is the majority. So we will live
Can I
peacefully.
ask you a question? Have you participated in any interfaith dialogue?
I'm sorry?
Have you participated in any interfaith dialogues?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
Because
okay.
actually,
So-
from when I was in college, I lived in New York City, and you had all kinds of people around you. My families are immigrants, were immigrants as well. I wanted to understand people, so I
So
think comparative
from your
religion.
experience, did you see that the majority are terrorists and the majority are extremists, or did you see that the majority are normal people like any other?
Well, do you know what, to be honest with you, up until several years ago, I never saw the Muslim religion as violent, okay? But it's now that I'm seeing that there is a surge, or some type of surge of violence in some areas of your religion. And as I keep coming back to the same point, and I know I'm repeating myself, I'm not seeing the moderate Muslims stand up dramatically against it.
I'd like to say something. I'd like to say something.
Okay, can I?
No one's accusing you, no one's accusing you, but the one question that's nagging me, and I'm sure it's nagging everyone else, American Muslims have been definitely quiet about the situation. Now, you can say you're not, but a lot of the extremists in this country coming right out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Now, you know all about the Muslim community there. I don't hear anything coming out of there except negative accusations against Americans, against America, right? And that's coming from the Muslim community. All I hear is how intolerant I am. I would like to see Imam Roof allow a Jewish couple or a gay couple go through his proposed mosque in New York. I would like to see that and see how tolerant he really is.